Peace. Happy now. Now's a vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now. Feet in the sand. Out here on the beach in Venice. Fitting in. Just listen to that phrase, like fitting in. They're like, oh man, I'm just trying to fit in. You know, when I hear the word fitting in, I think about like a box. You know, something that hinders you and stop you from expanding. You know what I'm saying? You know, we think about like Saturn, and Saturn deals with boundaries. You know, and the black box or the hex. You know, and as I'm saying, there's not no good or bad or this and that. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, the box. You know, when you're fitting into a box, you know, you're not able to expand. You know, so with the whole aspect, you know, we don't want to be fitting in right now. You know, we want to be being our unique selves. Like, realize, like, you know, the reason why a god is a god of something is because they're not trying to fit in. You know, like the reason why, you know, Shango is you know, a god or deity god dealing with, you know, lightning, because that's what he uniquely deals with. He's not trying to be Ogun and deal with iron. You know what I'm saying? And Ogun is Ogun because he deals with iron and he deals with his particular energies, and he's not trying to deal with what Oshun dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Oshun got her energies and not trying to be like the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see, like, all across the board, and whatever mythology you want to go to, you know what I'm saying? You know, Mercury is not trying to be like Mars. Mars not trying to be like Mercury. You know, it's very, very unique. And you start to see that, again, all of us not meant to be this energy on this level. You know, it's levels to the growth. And having levels to the growth is not, you know, only if you're looking at it from your egoic mind perspective, where you get the situation of, oh, well, that's trying to create separation, or that's thinking that somebody's better and somebody's not. And think about it in that moment. Like, if somebody expresses something like, hey, you know, like, there's a hierarchy to energies, you know, there's levels to it, and just speaking on it like that, but doesn't say, like, and I think, you know, like, it's not like I'm saying, oh, all the people who could do this, you should think you're better than this person. All the people who can't do this, you should think you're less of a person. You know, it's not like somebody saying that, you know. So when certain things are said in a certain manner, but you choose to look at maybe that energy that you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, like, where you're not able to, like, say for instance, some people not able to see the uniqueness and individuality without putting the ego in there. Like, some people don't understand that, you know, a stomach has a certain energy and it's unique. You know, the liver has a certain thing it takes care of and it's unique. You know, the lungs are unique, you know what I'm saying? Compared to some people feeling like they gotta be like, oh no, when you say something is unique and has an individual thing, you're creating separation, and you know, it's like, well, no, you know, that's not creating separation, because even though the stomach and the lungs and all this is uniquely different, they all work together and make, you know, and allow for the body to work beautifully. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is a balance of, you know, acknowledging that individuality, you know what I'm saying, and not letting it hinder, you know, not letting the ego come in and creating separation, you know, unhealthy separation, you know. It's separation in a healthy manner. Again, like the Terrence McKenna little quote, you know, like, I could do his voice. You know, I gotta know what the ego is. You know, enough to, whenever I get hungry, to stick the spoon in my mouth. Well, shout out to Terrence McKenna, but you know, like, you gotta have a healthy amount of ego in order to know, like, all right, when your stomach start growling, you get hungry, you know, it's time to eat, you know. Shit, even if you was a breatharian, let's just say, you know, even let's scratch out food, it's time for you to eat some air, you know what I'm saying? whenever it's time for you to eat some air, it gotta be your nose, like, you know, that in order for you to replenish, like, so, you know, say for instance, when it's time for you to replenish that air as a breatharian, it's not for you to tap somebody else on the shoulder and be like, hey, could you breathe for me? Like, could you breathe in your nose to bring energy in my body? Like, and that wouldn't even make sense at the whole aspect of us having the individual experience, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you gotta look at the way things are and it being that way for a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would Source create this situation like that if it was meant for me to breathe through your nose and when I get hungry to put food in your mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a dimension that exists like that, you know, somewhere, but, you know, that's not what's popping off in this dimension right now, and this now. The only thing that exists is right now, and right now I don't see that happening, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, embodying the uniqueness, again, like, not fitting in, expanding, you know, getting out of that box, you know, and realizing that there's nobody like you, you know. When you look around, there's gonna, you know, and if this message don't resonate with you, you know, you still growing into this aspect, you know, and it may not be for you to embody it fully in this lifetime, you know, whatever. But again, for the most part, you know, again, even with the levels on the growth, it's not for one to feel inferior or superior due to this, you know. Like, again, a 12th grader shouldn't feel superior to a 9th grader. A 9th grader shouldn't feel inferior to a 12th grader. They both in the same school, you know what I'm saying? They both learning, you know. It's just, you know, the 12th graders have experienced a certain level of teaching already, you know what I'm saying? That allows, so they have a different perspective and view on things. That doesn't necessarily mean they think they're better or over anything. You know, they just didn't went through the schooling that the freshmen are just getting to for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Neither one better or, you know, it's just the whole aspect of it, you know. And also speaking to this aspect too, though, like, not dimming your light for others' lack of growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now it's very important. I watch myself do it a little bit where, you know, like, self-sabotaging yourself, dimming your light in order to fit in, because, you know, because it feels lonely. Because that's another thing too, when you start to really, really, truly be yourself, you start to really, really let your light shine, you know, you'll look around and find that you're not, like, you know, around people all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you find that you may, you know, and still you networking and interacting with people, of course, you know, but, you know, you start to realize, you know, that, again, like, things will start to switch up as you're not dimming your light, you know, and start to realize that aspect too. You know, certain things where we going backwards, you know, no matter what excuse we give ourselves, you know, it's some form of self-sabotage and us, you know, directly, you know, dimming our light, you know. But don't dim your light for somebody else's lack of growth or lack of confidence, you know. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, like, not feel great about my bodysuit and about, you know, the energy that passes through it just because somebody else doesn't feel good about their bodysuit. You know, that's their energy that they have to deal with and get over, you know. I trust that they'll grow through whatever situation they're dealing with, but, you know, and that's the whole aspect of getting rid of our ego too, because if you got your ego, with, say for instance, a bunch of things are growing and expanding right now. If you got an ego, you know, you'll never be able to handle this realm that we're moving into, because you're going to constantly be feeling jealous or something, you know, feeling like, oh man, they think they all that because they chakras is aligned, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, they chakras just aligned. They just doing their inner work, you know? And we're starting to see, like, again, like, that ego aspect of would be unhealthy to have around us like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that unhealthy egoic mind, you know, will constantly feel some kind of way about somebody that's just being them, you know? You know, like, it's not my light shining, like this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine because that's what it's about, like letting my light shine, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, coming from the triple darkness, having this experience and being to the fullest, being who I am to the fullest, and because you got a problem with it or you're insecure about who you are, you know what I'm saying? And I done watched it happen within myself, that's how I realized the ego is a disease, like certain little aspects of the egoic mind that still dwell in my subconscious, like, and having to be transmuted. Of course, as I was going through it, it's more so like, through little psychedelic journeys, and seeing like, damn, like this vibration of jealousy in this area. I was like, damn, I didn't know that exists with them, on some type of vibe. But it's like just showing you, like, yeah, you want to transmute all that, because we not, we moving into a place where we ain't got no room, for that energy and that essence. Of course, it's gonna still exist in some way, form, or fashion. But again, we're talking about like the new earth, like that's not existing in the new earth. That might still be existing in the old aspect of earth, but not in the new aspect of it, also, and just more aspects, again, not fitting in. It's kind of like a little open vibe of just, what I was feeling to share in the moment, but the not fitting in aspect, so not dimming your light, being true to your unique soul, and not feeling any kind of way. Also, your potential doesn't pay the bills, it's passion over talent, talent without action. Let me see what I'm saying. Read my little notes. Passion over talent. Yes, it's all about the passion. Because you could have talent to do, like you could have the talent and the potential, and the potential, just like with us coming from the triple darkness, or like how I spoke on the crystals, excuse me. Like the crystals coming from the magma, and the magma is basically like the triple darkness of the universe in essence, where, in the magma, there's all the minerals and elements that's in there, but nothing is a finished product. Like it's all just potential. Like magma has the potential to be any crystal in the crystal kingdom, you know what I'm saying? But it's just in that stage of like, that divine chaos and that molten lava, like with that potential. But, say for instance, you're just sitting in that void, or that, that triple darkness, until you have some type of passion. And when we think about our passion, or aka in essence that spirit or will, that spirit will or passion to come from that triple darkness, come from that potential, and actually take an action, and act upon this energy, you know what I'm saying, to act, and not just sitting there in that potential stage. So, you could sit with potential all day long, I could potentially be the best player in the NBA, but if I'm sitting back and not doing it, then, then it's just potential from he say, she say, and word of mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we actually doing, You could you could have the potential to be the best person to do videos, or the best person to do Reiki healing, or whatever, but if you're just speaking on it and not actually taking action on that talent, then it's just, it's just potential that won't ever get realized. And a lot of times too, that's how, again, like with us transitioning out of this bodysuit, because we're not, actually taking action with our being, like we're just sitting there, and I got videos making that reference about, like, the bodysuit being like a car rental service, or should I say like renting a car, and certain beings without a bodysuit like really would like to have this experience. So, it's almost like a disrespect in essence to ourselves, in our sole purpose, and to other beings by hopping in this bodysuit and just sitting down and not doing nothing with it, So it's also that aspect as well. But remember, potential doesn't, I say potential doesn't pay the bills. We ain't trying to pay the bills in that sense. But, potential don't take care of things. It's the actual action, the actual passion, of doing what you love, and not just sitting on the talent. You know what I'm saying? It's like actually, having that passion and taking action. Because the passionate person who's passionate about what they do, goes further. somebody who's passionate about dancing, you know, is gonna go further than the person who has the potential to be the best dancer, but they're not passionate about it. You know, like, yeah, I know I could be the greatest dancer, but you know, I'm not really passionate about it. While the person who can't dance a lick, passionate like a motherfucking, we all remember so and so, you know, and not because they're trying to look for gratitude or look for like acknowledgement or anything. They just passionate about dancing. So with that passion, they end up getting acknowledged. You know, again, like Dr. Sebi wasn't looking to be famous. He was passionate about healing himself and eventually helping healing others. So it just turned into everybody knowing about him due to him just being in his passion. You know, just a byproduct. You know, just like again like the abundance, the revenue. You know, money is currency, is the energy. You know, is basically money is a representation of chi. You know, like it's a current flow and it's a byproduct of doing what you're passionate about, doing what you love. You know, but again, no fitting in, no dimming your light for somebody else's insecurities. You're not trying to fit in a box. We're expanding. You know, we're constantly growing and changing and expanding, and you know that's something that would be very hard to do in a box that has a finite dimension to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so and just some other aspects, just right quick. You know, make sure we're saying no. No is how we know. You know, not always being a yes man to everything. You know, a yes woman. You know. Say no, don't feel, that's another thing, don't feel bad or guilty for saying no. That subconscious programming has to be released, you know. Don't feel bad or guilty because you have to tell somebody no. And be real with you, anybody who tries to guilt trip you to go somewhere, you know, that's uncomfortable energy. You don't want to deal with somebody that constantly tries to tug on your strings and make you feel guilty about saying no to something. Like, cause I like those type of people, you know, no matter if their intentions are good, cause good intentions, the road to hell could be paved with good intentions. So that's a little thin line right there, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, again, like somebody may not be trying to intentionally, you know, mess with you energetically, but that does, you know, like tug and kind of, you know, like creates uncomfortable energy when somebody trying to like, oh, you know, either make you feel guilty or like, could you please come with me, please? It's like, you know, you gotta let me feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause how uncomfortable would it be for me to be with you to go wherever it is that you're asking me to go, and I feel like I'm being pulled with you, so the whole time I'm not really enjoying myself because I just went off of the whim of like feeling guilty or like feeling like I had to go because you were like just trying to poke at me to go so much. So it's like, all right, yeah, you know, instead of it being like a genuinely like, well, yeah, let me go, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you know, so let that be genuine, you know what I'm saying? Value your own opinion, value, you know, your energy, you know what I'm saying? Your unique perspective or your unique, you know, inner guidance and inner soul being, you know. And just making sure, again, you're not making yourself feel guilty for saying no. No is how you know. You know. But peace, y'all. Happy now, of course. Now is the vibrates. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, the only thing that exists is this moment. You know, if I wasn't doing a video right now, then I would kind of feel like, oh man, my future is seeming kind of shaky. You know, reason why I would feel like my future is kind of shaky because I wouldn't be doing, you know, what I love, because I'm not doing what I love in the moment. So if I'm not doing what I love in the moment, of course I'm gonna feel like my future is, you know, not bright, you know, because I'm not doing what I should be doing in the moment. You know, I'm not doing, you know, it would be because I wouldn't be doing what I love in the moment. So, you know, it's about doing what we love in the moment and being our greatest version in this moment that creates our future, you know. So always, you know, remember that. But again, peace, y'all. Happy now. Peace.